Okay, hold on.
Okay.
There we go. It's reconnecting. For some reason, it lost connection. I'm not sure why. It's reconnecting, it turning green. It's all the drop packets are going away. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
Everything shows streaming now. So now
Okay.
let's get you up here.
All right.
Everybody can hear you.
Okay, I think we're live. Testing it out here, guys.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Now
We're
we're just looking to find the stream.
are we live on
So
TikTok?
that's what we're confirming right now. Hold on.
Okay, guys, we just have our tech crew working on us to make sure we are live here. But this is Dave from UFO Webcam. Got Justin here with me and my co-host.
Absolutely. Hello,
Okay.
everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We're excited. This isn't actually our first show. So we've been doing this research project now at the beach house deck here overlooking the Gulf since February of last year, February of 2024. And, it became a cool hobby to have the phones out there recording. We view some stuff every once in a while, but it became,
TikTok failed.
it really picked up on us. So it seems like we're just on YouTube right now. So we're going to we're still waiting to get TikTok up.
Oh,
Yeah, bear with me, guys. Hold on, we're trying to go ahead and got tech support working here, guys. We're not live on TikTok. We're only on YouTube right now.
yeah. When you click it, I will show you. Should
Oh,
pop up any second.
okay. It's sending
Sending
data.
data.
Yep, sending data to
Yeah, it's right after it comes. So
it drops us. It says we're streaming. Okay, guys. So I believe we're live on TikTok now, guys. Yeah, we're confirming it here. Just bear with us. We're at 8:36. We were scheduled to launch at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, great. So it shows we are live. Thank you to our tech guy, Joey. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. So right now we are live on TikTok and we are live on YouTube. And
here is your chat.
okay, we got our chat up. Thank you, Joey. Welcome everybody out there. Yep, right there. That's our controls. Okay. All right. Yep, we are live. Thank you. So our tech team, Joey, just basically came off. We're excited to be at UFO Webcam, guys. We are live here. This is Dave Metcalf. We are in St. Pete Beach, Tampa, Florida. I've got my co-host Justin online with me as well. Say hi, Justin. All right. Very excited. So we actually did this back about a year ago, and in that last year, it was really just a tremendous success doing the live streams. Okay, we were live streaming across all channels. We probably ran it for about 2 months. I have a beach house here in St. Pete Beach. I'm an entrepreneur. I have several businesses that I run, so I had to commit some time to that, and just didn't really have a lot of time to get back on this. But we've got some exciting projects that we are launching along with UFO Webcam, and so we want to expose this stuff to people that we're showing live. Now we do have something moving up here in the top corner. A lot of times you're going to see stuff here. They are planes. And you can see the setting on the screen. This is the Gulf that we're looking over from St. Pete Beach. And of course, the beach setting here. We've got an open 180-degree view, so very exciting. And guys, we've been seeing stuff really over the last 16 months. It started off in February of 2024. I moved in 2023 into this beach house. Got just a incredible, beautiful view, deck looking over the Gulf, and it started off in February. We'd gradually see stuff, but then it continued on to where it would become more active. We see more and more stuff. It might start with 6 things a night, 6 orbs, objects a night, and then it graduated. It basically got to where we're seeing 20, 30, 40 objects a night. So we sent these videos into MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, to go ahead and study them. And interesting enough, out of all the videos, we have about 800 videos now. In the last 16 months, we've been doing the research here, overlooking the Gulf and looking at these objects. And so it's much more than just seeing these. They're not satellites because we've challenged it in so many ways. We've looked at it from the Starlink angle. My co-host Justin on here, he was with NASA formerly. Myself, I'm ex-DOD, 18 years, been at military bases across the world. And so, we're familiar with a lot of different craft, a lot of different test crafts out there, seeing everything from SR-71s in the beginning, back in the 80s. I'm 53 years old, to seeing, our latest F-35s. Very exciting stuff. So we've seen stuff out there, and we know there's unconventional craft. We know there's black projects that are going on, that we are not privy to as far as the technology of what they have out there, but we have a pretty good idea. We are keeping track of our current news and events as far as ourselves, the United States, and our tech, our latest tech, but we're also keeping track of our adversaries, countries like China, who are rapidly advancing, rapidly. And so we're keeping track of their tech. And so we know there's plasma weapons out there. There's craft that are transmedium, that can go through objects supposedly. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the newest tech out there so we can compare it to what we're seeing here over the Gulf. Now we do know that we're seeing military. We're close by an Air Force base, and we do know that we're seeing military craft coming out. So we've actually have caught them turning off their transponders. We're using a lot of different tech equipment. We do use satellite tracker, ISS tracker for the space station, but we also are using flight tracker as well, consistently, to make sure that we know that these aren't planes out there, like we're seeing on the screen now. And you'll see the mouse moving, guys. We have control of that, so we're going to show you certain things here overlooking the Gulf. Of course, we have a planetary body here, a star, and a few more up in here that you'll see. We have a PTZ camera, so we can zoom and cover this whole 180 degrees. Now, you will notice, and we'll say things a few times, that the things you're seeing here, like there's a blinking light. These planes here, if you don't know, and some of you may know, by federal standards, they must have an FAA blinking light. And so that's what you're seeing here, is this plane coming across, and that blinking light there is what's required by federal law. That is an FAA identifier light for the plane. Now, they're different on different craft from drones, but drones have to have them. And so if you do not see a craft that has this on, one, they're breaking federal regulations, and two, they might have forgot, but it's something that they're not supposed to do because it is against federal regulations. And I guess it's also for safety standards, so they don't collide with another jet, so they can be seen and stuff like that. It's the same reason that we have our towers out there, the high towers that also have blinking lights on them. So, but we are excited because, we started this live stream actually a year ago, and we tested it out. We ran it for about 2 months, and it was phenomenal. We were seeing all types of objects on the screen. And basically, I'm going to go ahead and type in, guys, because I'm doing a bunch of things at one time, but I will try to talk to you through the chat. And I'll just kind of go ahead. If you have questions, I can go ahead and do my best on answering them. But we started the project back in February of 2024, really got heavy into it in May of 2024. We started realizing that we were seeing something unconventional over the oceans, over the Gulf here in Florida. We were seeing something that was definitely different than the craft that we are used to seeing, okay? And this is even coming from a military background, Justin coming from a former NASA background. So we're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff as we do these live stream podcasts. And this is what we're doing now, is we're doing it Monday today, guys, kind of a test, getting it started. But we're going to go to every Wednesday. That's really our goal, is that starting next week, we're going to go to Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday. And the goal is that on this podcast, we want to show you something that you may have never seen before. Okay. Now here's another craft. This is another plane coming in. This is also a plane over here on our far right. We do have commercial craft. that are coming off and have routes as we go through our podcast and you see it, we'll explain it to you. A lot of commercial planes come into the Tampa International Airport, but we do have military craft that come here through McGill in this area, McGill Air Force Base. So, we've watched them where they've come in on sorties, flying into missions over the last 16 months. So this isn't something new. We're not bringing you on to say, hey, this is something that we just started noticing and we're taking pictures. I know people are seeing things all over the world, but looking over the Gulf, realizing that there is so much activity. So to explain what you're seeing here, we have a plane down here that I'm circling, and we have two planes here. We have a plane here and we have a plane here. You can see their blinking identifier lights, okay? So what happens is we're not in here to guarantee that you're going to see UFOs. We're not here to guarantee that you're going to see aliens because, especially us from a military and NASA background, we're really going to talk about the possibilities, okay? Now, there are certain things that we have captured. It's not just one type of craft, they're all different craft. But what's interesting, over the last 16 months of doing this research project and looking at over 800 videos, we have realized that these things are doing something in patterns. Okay, so we have something moving here. I'm going to go ahead and point it out. Okay, right here, you can see the stream coming off of. We also had infrared on our 4K cameras that are mounted outside. This right now, as of right now, has no FAA identifier light. Okay, so this could be considered something unidentified at this point. You will see the planes here blinking as you see them now. You're going to see the planes and jets with the FAA identifier lights. This could be one of our first craft or unidentified objects moving in tonight. Okay, what you're going to see, and I'm telling you what, I'm probably going to guarantee you're going to see stuff because through our research project in 16 months, we have pinpointed their time. We have pinpointed how they're moving across the skies. We believe it could be something through the constellations over the last 16 months. We've seen them coming out of the water and going into the water. We've seen these orbs, especially, that have an incredible reflection that we have seen live on our broadcast, our podcast that we started last year, and they'll reflect over the Gulf where you see my mouse moving in such a way that you know that they can't be satellites. You know that they are in a closer proximity than that others can evaluate being very far out. So we probably are looking at a line of about 20 miles to a 10 to 20 mile area that we're covering as far as where I'm viewing from my beach house all the way out into the ocean. You can see these craft here. They're blinking. These are farther out. This is looking west, okay, guys, towards Texas. I would say this area up in here, this is looking towards Panama City, Pensacola area, looking northwest. And so we will have planes that'll come in and they'll come off the Gulf. Here's another plane right here. Not going to try to, oh gosh, look, guys, there's a UFO. We're not going to do that. We're basically going to explain what we're seeing. When we feel that we are seeing the unidentified objects that we have been seeing over the last 16 months, trust me, I will point them out and I'll let you know. And they are triggered by a lot of these aircraft, interesting enough, okay? So what's interesting is when these planes come through this area, and right now this one has its forward lights on us, most likely this is a military plane coming from McGill, and they're basically coming towards me now. But when he turns on his side, you'll see the identifier light. So you'll see those FIA blinkers. He's at closer proximity. I'd probably say he's within 5 miles. Now, I can say I've flown myself, being in ex-military. I used to have to deal with calling Eglin Air Force Base and deal with the towers. Now, at that time, I was flying a glider, but still coming off of the beaches and everything, I had to deal with any missions that they were putting in the air. This is once I retired, coming out of DOD. But I can tell you this plane now is heading on an easterly direction, basically, and we are looking directly west. Okay, so this would be considered Mexico in this area, looking at our map. So we've tracked all this. We know where we're at on the maps. We know where, again, we're using satellite tracker, ISS tracker. We are using flight tracker so we can see the planes. We actually have, we've invested, so we have smart cameras now. We're going to show that through our podcast that we do every Wednesday with you. I know we announced that it would be Monday, but we are moving to a Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. We're going to run it for an hour. And but we're going to kind of cut in other things in there from our smart telescope videos that we have that are close-ups, guys. I mean, so what's crazy is, we have Tic Tac. So you guys have seen the famous Tic Tac that the Navy pilots have covered. That, David Gresh has talked about, and David, I believe it's David Fravor, Lieutenant Colonel Fravor, I believe it was, that was in the F-18s. And so, they talk about this famous Tic Tac, this object that rises out of the water and how it moves. There's been some talk about it could be a Lockheed Martin product, it could be a Skunk Works product, that has gravatics and tremendous gravitational energy and the way it can move, something that we've never seen before. And again, they aren't going to tell us this. We aren't going to know this. This is going to be a black project, but we may spot it and we may see it. Some of you guys may go, wow, this is a UFO. Not necessarily. It may be an unidentified craft. And I have stuff, you got to look back on my TikTok channel and you'll actually see craft that I have during the day. So this isn't just at night. We just are showing the most active times where we're seeing these, especially the orbs. Okay, the orbs are moving, and we're seeing the most active times that they're moving. We've kind of pinpointed it to really kind of a 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock hour. But we're going to just start off at 8:30. There's going to be a time change, and I realized that last year when the time changed, they were literally showing up at 8 o'clock and run until about 9:30, sometimes 10. They run for about 2 hours, the orbs do, but there's other craft that I've captured. And if you look on my TikTok channel, you'll see orange craft that are moving in ways with G-forces that are just not understandable. These aren't metallic craft, especially this orange one that I've caught 15 minutes over the Gulf. And here's another plane now that's low. He's probably, I'm going to tell you, below 1,000-foot elevation deck. That means most planes, and when they go below this 1,000-foot elevation, guys, they're usually military because they're granted permission for that. Some of these guys, we've seen them turn off their transponders. We're able to see that. We can see them visually, but they're trying to basically hide themselves. And we have so much video of this when these orbs are moving that these jets and military jets are coming out here for sorties. They're running missions, and they've been visual so far, so there has been no engagement past visual, okay? So this kind of gives us theories as well. Why would these orbs appear in this area? Why would they move during the seasons and be in 2 months over land and then be in 2 months, over the water in this area? And then when there's lightning in the area and storms, they disappear, with the force that lightning has. And so these are theories, guys. This isn't a one-off. We're not here just taking videos and going, wow, and posting on TikTok. This has been a research project. Myself as an entrepreneur, I've invested money. I have a beach house, 2 stories that look over the Gulf in Tampa. And so I put in high-tech 4K cameras with infrared. I actually have smart telescopes that I have as well. Even from the iPhone standards, I had an iPhone 12 when I started this thing, and I moved up to an iPhone 17, which I know the 18, but still, even using that and put it on a tripod. Now, what we have moving here, guys, I'm going to watch this real close. There's no identifier lights on this. This might be the second unidentified object we have flying in the air. Watch, there's a trail off it. What it's going to do in most cases, it's going to disappear. Sometimes they'll move across the sky. We've seen them float. We've seen them come towards the water. Later on at night, here's another one moving at a cross angle, okay? You're not seeing any identifier lights on this. Now, we know that, Starlink, and we know that SpaceX and Starlink, they have more than just trains now. So we know this, okay? This isn't something that's new to us. And we know that they have other satellites. This one has disappeared. You not see it on a track. This one here still moving across the top of the screen. But as you notice, there is no FAA identifier lights as we've seen on the past planes that we're running through here, okay? So to answer your question, where's the camera stationed at? We are in St. Pete Beach. Now look at this one disappearing here, guys. Look at the energy source off its front. It's still moving across the sky, just the trail of it getting faint. Now this is going to be more distinct. This is nothing right now that you're seeing. As we go through the next 45 minutes, you can start to see there's another one appearing here. Down here you saw a blink. Now, in most cases, that's going to be a military jet back in the distance, and as he gets closer, you will see his identifier lights from his plane, okay? Again, that is required by federal law. It's required from every commercial, every cargo, and every military plane that comes in. Now, this one diving here, guys, I could probably tell you, based on my experience, this is a plane coming in. And just like I told you, you can start to see the blinking identifier light. Okay. So right here, just like I was talking about, and look, right here appearing, this is also a plane coming in. You can see as blinking identifier light. Here's one here in the distance, but this movement here in between these two planes, that was an object that was unknown, just disappeared. Okay. Now, again, we're familiar with SpaceX, Starlink. We have Starlink trackers. We have ISS trackers that we use. Of course, we'd be ridiculous if we weren't. We also have, we're using Flight Radar 24 tracker. And so, you know, we basically we were using all types of equipment, which really exciting though is not only have we gone from going from a simple iPhone 12 a year ago when we started seeing these objects, or 16 months ago now, and now we're 800 to 900 videos strong, guys. Stuff we can't even post. It's just unbelievable. So we figure we're going to live stream it because AI sucks, and we've been seeing AI everywhere, posting all types of stuff, and the only way we feel we can combat that really is by doing a live stream and showing you this live. Okay, so we actually have another plane here. You can see the FAA identifier light. He looks like he's heading west towards Mexico. We have another plane that's coming up. I can probably tell you that's a commercial coming in, maybe a cargo. I'm not too sure, but this is usually where they'll start appearing in this area, coming from the Louisiana area, coming from the Atlanta area and taking that track in, some coming from Texas. This is coming over the Gulf, and they'll appear here, and then they'll start making a flight path heading this way. You'll see his blinking identifier lights from this plane here, and he'll head this way as he'll make his approach into Tampa International or Clearwater International. Okay. We're seeing these on flight trackers, so we see them every night. And again, this is the back porch of my house, guys. So this isn't, I have a 2-story beach house. I'm an entrepreneur, been blessed, very successful. I'm in quite a few companies. This has become really a hobby for me. And then it was like, wow, I'm seeing stuff that's unbelievable, to the point that I really had to try to get questions, these questions answered. So I went to other individuals. I went to MUFON, which is known as the Mutual UFO Network. And I actually just got off the phone, interesting enough, with one of the investigators tonight. She's going to go ahead and put in writing one of the videos that I sent her out of the 900 videos that we saw. And it got to the point where, like, Dave, you can't send videos. We're volunteers here at MUFON. You can't just keep sending them in, sending them in, sending them in. But I sent in 5 videos, different times. One was of an orb or craft approaching one of our planes, and then it did a swerve around the plane. And when it swerved around the plane, you could actually see some sort of particle trail, some sort of element coming from the back of the plane, which was just crazy. And as I'm talking, we're going to break because we're seeing stuff here. This is a plane blinking. Here's a plane coming in for approach. That's another plane there. This is an object that I want you to watch as these planes here. What's happening, guys, is these objects, they'll start being triggered by the planes. I've seen this, guys. Out of my 800, 900 videos, I literally have about 100 of them now, which are plane interactions which are alarming, to the point which you'll see some tonight, to where when the plane is running this track like these two, you'll see an object, an orb, rise right out of the water and come right at the plane and then disappear right before it. You'll see one as the plane's moving, like this one here. You'll see the blinking FA. You'll see one of these objects appear above the plane, and they'll track it, and they'll move with it a few miles, and then they'll just disappear. You'll see another one appear behind it. I have so many videos of this, guys. I have 900 of these things now. And so what we've done is we're moving to more high-tech equipment. As an entrepreneur, I'm putting more stuff here on the beach deck. I actually am buying some AI equipment called the UFOwebcam. It's actually being developed by the engineer who's made them. He's actually been on TV on shows like UFO Witness. If you guys watch Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates and his team, they've used a UFOwebcam on there, which you can actually see on his past shows. It's amazing. So it will actually zoom in on these flying objects. Now you can see, just like I told you, this commercial plane or this plane coming in, I haven't tracked it to see exactly what it is on the flight tracker, if it's commercial or if it's what it is right now. I've got so many moving things with you guys talking on chat and between here. But what he's doing is he's going to basically take a northeasterly path heading this way. So this is a strong area where our planes will come out of, and then they'll start heading east. When he makes his east approach, you're going to see his blinking lights. We're seeing his forward lights on us right now. That's why you're just seeing a light. This is not a UFO. This is, we know what this is, and we know what this is. This blinking light here too, that is also a plane. So we're going to see these through the next 30 minutes or so as we're on this podcast, as they come through. But what's interesting enough, we're going to keep this live stream broadcast running all the time so you can see it all the way up all night, even into the day as people are walking on the beach. That's only on YouTube. Here we go. I'm going to interrupt ourselves here because with this plane here, we have an object appearing, again, triggered by the planes, guys. They are showing themselves to the craft. I have close to 100 videos where they are coming up, going head-on collisions and disappearing. They're appearing behind the planes. They're tracking them. I have close-ups of this, okay? We've gotten, and what I love as well is when we start to see clouds that come thick in the background, and I've also been talking to from UFO Witness. This is an object here I want you to keep your eyes on. There's no blinking FA identifier light. Here's a plane. This is going to start making its easterly track here, looking over the Gulf in St. Pete Beach. Watch this object here. This is going to disappear. I'm going to tell you now. And as it gets later, they will appear lower. Here's another one moving, okay? This one here is also an unidentified object, okay? So the plane here is going to make its easterly approach. And as we see more planes coming through, I'm pretty sure this is also a plane farther in the distance. And so it's interesting enough. I've watched this now for 18 months, okay? It's not just these orbs that are flying. Here's another one about to appear, and you're going to see its trail off the infrared. That one up here, look at it. It was pretty strong here, and it disappeared. Now, they're going to get so bright, too, sometimes that they will reflect off the ocean, guys. We've seen it live when we did the live stream last year. We did them for about 2 months, and then we dipped out of the podcast live streams just because I have other businesses I was running. I couldn't attend to it.
That one on the left there.
That's Justin here, just to kind of chiming in. Justin is my co-host. I'm sorry, I've been kind of running motor mouth here, just kind of explaining everything. But Justin is my co-host. You guys saw him on the video we posted on our intro about getting back into the podcast. And Justin is a former NASA engineer, which is awesome because he can give a lot of technical background. I'm ex-DOD in the Air Force, 18 years, been on bases from Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines to Kadena Air Force Base, Japan. I've seen an SR-71 take off with basically a mission, at troop standing at attention and salute. And I've seen them land at Tyndall Air Force Base on an emergency landing, F-22s, F-35s. Now, this is a plane here that is making its approach now, coming in on land, coming from Tampa, going to Tampa Clearwater International, and it's moving east. And so, again, they'll appear right here, these planes on this track, and they'll appear because they're coming from the west. Now, here's another plane, guys. Look at this. This is going to be interesting, possibly. So this plane now, when they're at a farther distance, and I know it's, you pilots know, I've flown, that we can't judge light. It's so impossible to judge the distance compared to daytime, right? But, there's things that we look at, like the clouds in the background. We love to run off storm systems when they're in the back, and we can look at radar, and we can see that the clouds are in the backdrop at a certain distance. So our line of sight showing us where we're filming from our beach house deck here in St. Pete Beach, Tampa, to whatever storm system we see out here. I love those nights. We got about 80 videos of where the orbs are appearing in front of the clouds. And so even talking to Ben Hansen, ex-CIA agent, you've seen him on UFO Witness possibly, and he had an argument on certain things that, Dave, Starlink is moving. They're not just doing Starlink trains now. They're moving at certain angles, and they do appear and disappear. Yes, they do. But when we started showing them videos, thick cloud videos where they were appearing in front of the clouds, it was just so fast to go, well, that's pretty much taken out any space-based objects that you have. These are Earth-based clouds with moisture, okay? These are not space clouds, which are made basically consist of gas. And so it was just really interesting. We start to get into common sense factors. We know that satellites are moving out there. We know that more and more are put out there. We know that companies like Lockheed, Skunk Works, Raytheon, DARPA, our defense agency, they're putting out things that we can only imagine. We do know that there's things that, for example, like now transmedian craft that can go through objects. And how amazing is that? we've never could imagine in our years. But what's really interesting about our research project, guys, is that, we've gone deeper. We've sent in our videos into MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. There's been 5 different investigators now. One of the investigators, very interesting enough, a scientist in Manasota Key, Florida, named John, and he looked at one of our videos where we had military craft flying into the area, doing sorties in this area last year. I believe it was around November of 2024. And there was about 40 objects flying within that hour. We have another one moving here, guys, that's coming out right now, that might get more visible. I've seen it so much, so I can tell you when they have FAI identifier lights and knowing what a regular craft is and knowing that something is moving here. Now, we've seen them again to where the MUFON investigator, you can see this one just popping out of the clouds, and they'll appear where they'll glow and light up the clouds. Again, this is early. When it gets closer to 9:30, 10, we're going to see them appearing near the water here. It's just crazy. They'll appear. The other night, I have videos where they're just coming just right out at angles. They cross each other. They'll float. I've got them coming straight down, like my mouse going right into the water. It's just amazing. Now, 80% time, these are the orbs that we're seeing, that people are seeing around the world. And we have theories of what is actually happening. Over the last 18 months of doing videos, we have seen them move geographically. And what's interesting is the MUFON investigators say, well, they're moving in this area, probably 100 square mile area. Do you think there's a portal? Do you think there's a portal there? And me and Justin had talked about that as well. Remember, Justin, we were talking about it the other. There's a great possibility. Yeah.
I just want to point out that last one you pointed at 10 or 20 seconds ago was moving in front of a cloud.
Yes.
So that was clearly not a satellite.
Well, and guys, this is Justin, my co-host. Justin, tell him about yourself and your career, if you could, please.
So I'm an engineer by training, and have been able to work at some pretty cool places like the Pentagon and the Army Research Laboratory and NASA, as Dave mentioned. And I'm really interested in this kind of phenomenon, this kind of stuff, the unknown, and trying to figure out what's going on. I've been very skeptical my entire adult life and most of my, young adult life too. And I'm still skeptical. I try to think about things and analyze things rationally, and I'm just very analytical by nature and detail oriented. And there's another one coming, Dave.
Yeah, I see it there. Well, of course, being a NASA engineer, that's just going to go with the background now, which I love, Justin. I really do. Because Justin breaks down everything. Of course, he has to as an engineer. So we'll look at things, and he's like, yeah, could it be this? Let's check. Let's look at the charts, and let's look at this. And, so we've come to a realization at these things. And, again, we love clouds, guys, because these Earth-based clouds are taking out any space-based objects that can be considered satellites. We have about 12 objects now that are identified, and probably equal amount of planes with their identifier lights moving through. So they get active. They're going to get more active as we get closer to 10. And believe it or not, they're just going to stop. They're going to disappear. You will not see them the rest of the freaking night. Honestly, guys, you can watch this camera. It's live stream on YouTube 24/7. And you will not see these objects that I'm showing you. And that's why we brought this podcast to 8:30, because we know their movements. We're going to show you basically the highest activity of what they're showing to us over here from my beach house deck looking over the Gulf. Again, we got a 180-degree view. And, we know, coming from our backgrounds, the different types of military crafts, even just by hearing. We can see their light signatures usually identify their military. And we, with our MUFON investigators as well, have been able to realize that these military jets that come in usually are running below 1,000-foot deck, which you guys don't know, it's 1,000-foot elevation. That's probably up in this line here. And when they're below that 1,000-foot deck level, you can't, as a commercial airliner or as just a regular civilian airline, you can't, or pilot, you cannot go below that. really that below that 1,000-foot deck unless you get permission. So again, we're seeing military craft come through all the time. And again, what we're saying, guys, as we're looking at this, okay, me and Justin, because Justin is, again, NASA engineer formerly. I'm been on Air Force bases around the world for 18 years. I've seen all types of craft, XDOD, U.S. Air Force. And so, you know, is there a great possibility that it's our tech, it's our military tech? Yes, absolutely. Let's hope it's the USA's tech because we're on USA shores looking at this, and this isn't from, we don't have China or Russia this close to our shores. But again, with Justin, we kind of broke everything down, and these objects that are appearing near our planes and coming out of the ocean and going in, not only do we have organizations like MUFON investigate them and give us in writing that they're unknown, so we're going to be able to show you that too on our podcast, and actually have some of those people talk, some of those MUFON investigators that have looked at the videos and things that we've seen, and show you what they've done as far as looking at satellites, looking at airlines, looking at drones, and everything else that it could possibly be. And so when they say, hey, and especially a scientist from Minnesota Keys saying, Dave, this is unknown. We have no clue what this is after we looked at flight tracker, airline paths, and everything else. That's funny. This is a person walking down here down the beach, so you can see their trail. Thick clouds are starting to come in. It's a good thing. It's 9:10. We're going to run this till about 9:30. And a lot of you guys that came on, it's been great that you've been able to see some of the objects flying. It's only going to get better, guys. I want you to go on our TikTok channel and look at the videos that I have. Again, these are all by myself and Justin. We have 800 to 900 videos now, over 16 months of research. We have craft even during the day, guys. You got to see the one that, Justin, what do we talk about that? And you were talking about toroidal.
Oh,
Remember the orb that we saw during the day, and we talked about it being a toroidal energy source.
right. Yeah,
And
it can look like that, the shape of it.
yes, and if you guys look at a toroidal orb, and how basically our planets and our cosmos and how a lot of the energy sources are, it's amazing because the object that we filmed, you'll see on TikTok, and during the day it's a clear object. And here's another object moving, guys. And we have the clouds that are here. Okay, so we have thick clouds here now, and you just saw the trail of that object. We're going to watch it to see if it comes through the clouds on this side. But this is one of our objects, is unknown. Again, and we're not saying these are aliens, right? We're not saying that they're UFOs. And again, understand this: UFO webcam stands for unidentified flying objects, guys. Unidentified, and that's what it is until identify it. So we do welcome anybody that comes in that they can, say, hey, yeah, there's stuff I can offer as far as tracking or information I know. But of course, we do have satellite tracker. We do have flight tracker. So we're looking at that. We have AI equipment we have being installed here at the beach house deck overlooking the Gulf here in Florida. And that AI equipment is actually going to zoom in on these objects and tell us what it is. It'll tell us if it's unknown. It will tell us if it is a commercial airliner. It'll tell its elevation, its speed, and it'll tell us what it is if it's an aircraft. And it's been on TV already. So if you look at some of the shows from Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates and his team, they've been using the UFO DAP, UFO DAP is what it is if you want to look it up online. And you'll see these cameras we're going to install here on our deck along with our 14K cameras and everything else that we have looking over the Gulf. And our YouTube channel, you want to join that because we don't always live stream on TikTok. We'll be here every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. where you guys can chime in. You can see what we're seeing live. And as we talk about it, it's me and Justin here. Again, Justin, former NASA engineer, myself, ex-DOD, ex-Air Force. So we're going to come at it from several different angles. Could it be our military tech that these are transmedian craft that can disappear, can appear, can go through objects like the water, just crazy stuff. We and Justin were just talking about recently how we now have DARPA's created smart dust. And so there's literally smart dust, guys, that in our tech now that is spying that can float around in the air, believe it or not, and it can scary enough track things and perform basically military operations from again spy operations detection, and who knows what other type of military applications. I would imagine these things can be controlled to where they can infiltrate lungs of a whole force of soldiers, and that would be scary to think of. So if we have tech like that, who knows what's out there, right? So here's a plane coming in. You can see the blinking light. These are the FAA identifier lights that I've been talking about. Planes are required to have that by federal law. It's also required for safety, okay? So you'll see the planes. Now, unfortunately, we do have some thick clouds that are closer to us. And when they start to break that 5 mile line, it's going to be harder for us to see stuff, okay? So again, guys, from a military background, from, Justin, what his background in NASA, and these could be something of an Earth phenomenon that we're seeing. Here's another thing moving here. We're going to see if it penetrates the clouds, but we can kind of see the trail of it right now. I can tell there's also a plane in here. We can see the identifier lights. We have all types of drones out there, of course. We can disengage them where there's no lights blinking on it. So many people are quick to say, whoa, 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 that's a UFO and that's it. No, not necessarily. It could be, again, our military tech. It could be some sort of earthbound phenomenon that we don't know about. Or yes, it could be NHI, non-human intelligence. There's always that possibility. We can all see it from different angles. But what we're doing here is just to show you and educate you from our background, what we're seeing, and basically you can make your own judgment. So the last thing, exactly. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, when we say UFO, the planes that you're seeing coming in, to somebody else, they could see that and not realize that it's a plane and think that they don't know what it is. And to them, because they don't know, it's unidentified. Therefore, it's a UFO.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And then it flies closer and they see, oh, it's just a plane. Now it's a plane, right? The UFO became a plane.
Well,
to you,
exactly.
you saw the whole time you saw it was a plane. To you, it was not a UFO at any point, but to them it was, and then it became a plane, right?
Well, exactly. And the thing is, we want to educate people on this because there's so much hysteria out there. There's so many AI videos out there now that are going out where, people are posting all these things of UFOs and it's just so fake, okay? And they're just raising hysteria and they're just getting people alarmed when it's just not necessary. But what we want to show are the real things, and that's why we decided that one of the best ways to do that was a live stream podcast. So you guys, as we get down close to the end of this, keep in mind, although we made the announcement to come on Monday at 8:30, we're going to be on. Justin, would we agree that Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. is when we're going to jump in? And even if Justin is on the road now, which he's doing, he's a consultant as well, dealing with agencies all the time with his background. Myself, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm dealing with stuff constantly as well. But we will make a commitment to be here Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. to show you what we are seeing here over the Gulf as we have witnessed it over the last 18 months. Again, this is 18 months, guys, of crazy things, that unconventional craft that we have recorded and seen. And again, just look at the TikTok channel that I have that you guys are on, and look at the past videos that I've posted. So there's daytime videos. We like to say there's some that we just kind of call an Oreo cookie, which they are moving between our craft, and we call them an Oreo cookie because they're shadowed during the day. So it looks like a shadow moving across the screen. You'll see them stop every once in a while. We have captured those. We have captured ones in the day that some that are so clear. Again, we're using smart telescopes and things that we can zoom in pretty clear on these. And then, not only are we checking flight tracker and satellite tracker, but at the same time, we're sending these into agencies like MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and talking to Arrow, and we have been talking to ex-CIA Ben Hansen, and even Ross Coulthart has seen a lot of these as well. So we're bringing these to light to show people what's going on. Again, not UFOs, not aliens, not what we're trying to tell you they are. But we're going to show you things that are definitely unconventional, things that are rendezvousing also with our craft out there, our own military craft and other commercial airliners as they pass. And these aren't, again, because we'll see them when there's clouds too. There's another object here. Now, this is a plane. You can see its track coming over from the right and moving here. This is moving, I would say probably southwest. And you'll see right there the blinkers on it, that blinking light. And you'll see, there it is. You'll start to see it more predominant as it makes its turn. That is the FA identifier light from a plane. So we do know that's a plane. See this one coming over here from the left side. I think it's just entering our screen. I can actually move. I'll move the screen over. That's the beauty of this. And you can see we've got a palm tree right in front of my house here. But you can see this plane. Let's see where it's at. So there's one here too, to the far right. That is a plane very distinctly, guys. You can see the blinking FA identifier light in that. And there's also one here. Again, cloud cover's kind of moved in on us here. But we do like when that happens, because when we have our objects, when they are moving, and we've seen probably 12 of them now, or 15 of them tonight, from the beginning of our podcast, which started at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time here in Florida. I would say, what, Justin, we've probably seen about 12 of them maybe tonight. Maybe 12 to 15 is what we've seen. And so, yeah, we've seen about 12 to 15 objects, and then the planes coming by as well. And Justin will be in out. Being former NASA. He's also a consultant right now. He deals with agencies. So he jumps between calls while he's on here with us. He's remote right now, so he's not actually on site where I'm at here at the beach house deck. There's also a plane here behind this cloud. You'll see him probably emerging right there. Okay, so you'll see his blinking light as well as he's moving to the east. And clearly, again, guys, we're not here to say, oh, whoa, look at that, it's a UFO. No, we want to tell you that not everything you're seeing out there are UFOs. Now look at that up here. I'm not sure if that was a star, but as this plane is passing, see that right there? Look at it. Now it looks like it may be disappearing. I'm not sure. It's getting brighter. So I'm not sure what this object is here as this plane just passed. It's getting brighter here now. That could be one of our objects or orbs that just decided to appear, and it's floating right now. As that plane, as you see the plane right here, you see the blinking identifier light as it's moving. That's heading inland to Tampa International. But that object just appeared, and as you can see it kind of moving. Now it's not moving, but it's just sitting there. So this could be one of our objects floating. Now it looks like we may have something right down in here too. As we get later, they will start appearing closer to the water. Okay, and there was a trail from one as this plane passed. So what's interesting is we may not see a lot, but as these planes come in the area, and you'll start to see them fly in. We haven't seen a whole lot of air traffic tonight, okay? But when you'll see a plane come in, you'll see one of these unidentified flying objects track the plane, or they'll appear in front of the plane, and they'll move with it. And that's what we're going to show you. We're going to show you that and try to get an idea. What is this? What is this that we're seeing? Because we don't really know. Now, right here, we have something moving. See that trail? And it just disappeared. Now, look right here, guys. See this appearing low to the water with the clouds? That's one of our objects that was just moving. Okay, so it's not going to continue on. You won't see it here as a plane, and it's not going to continue blinking, but you just saw that appear right near the water. Now keep watching now. Watch our screen here. We're looking west towards Mexico from Florida, okay? So, again, we're live streaming this, guys, because we hate AI. Oh, look, we got something moving here. Look at this trail right here, okay? And that one just disappeared as well. So, you know, we're starting to get a little bit more movement. In the last 15 minutes we were on here, it was a little slower. But just the fact that we can show you anything identified. Now, look, here comes a plane. See this coming in here from the right side? Now, this one's closer to us. Again, it's almost impossible to judge at night. Look, there's a secondary plane coming in, guys, okay? So this one's on a different track. This one, I'm going to say his dive that he's taking and his light signature, I'm going to probably say that's a military plane. And he is coming into our area, what I like to call the hot zone, the active area, where these objects are appearing. This isn't random, guys. This happens over the last 18 months. We've been doing our research study. They are, look at it, what I just tell you, look at that moving right now with these planes coming in. You have a plane here and a plane here, and you have an object that's just moving in the background as these planes are flying through. I'm going to show you this. We're going to show you this every Wednesday at 8:30, guys. Some nights, if it's super cloudy, what we have noticed, if there's lightning storms in the area, that when there's lightning storms in the area, it's amazing because the orbs will disappear. They will not be there. We just don't see them for the night. So again, we've been watching this for 18 months now, since February of 2024 on this beach house deck overlooking the ocean. And here's another plane. Okay, you can see it coming out of the clouds. And here's the other plane running across. This is at a closer mile mark to us. It's probably within 5 miles looking at the plane tracker. We are using Flight Radar 24 and plane tracker. Here's another plane. Again, look at his blinking light. Now watch as he comes through our hot zone area. And we just saw one of our unidentified objects appear when planes were coming from this direction. So as he passes our hot zone here, okay, what I like to call the hot zone. And what's interesting enough, this active area of these objects that are moving, they're not just moving in this area all the time. They've done this now just over the past 6 weeks. They started moving. So since last year, we have been tracking them geographically. They are moving as we're trying to figure it out, guys, because that's the coolest thing with Jetson being, former NASA engineer, myself. Look at this. As a plane is passing, guys, what did I just tell you? We have another one that just appeared as a plane was passing. Again, it's not random. This they're doing on purpose. Why are they showing themselves to our craft as they pass by? I've sent it into MUFON to have investigated, Mutual UFO Network, and they have no clue. There's something moving in the back here as well. It's another plane that came out from out west, and it's approaching us from coming now east. This plane, it will have a stronger light signature as it gets closer to us, and you can see this one clearly blinking in the FAA identifier lights of this as it's heading south. And basically this plane is, you can see its light signature. Look at this, how low it is. Now, this is something to keep in mind. This is the ocean here. This is the Gulf. Okay, so our elevation here, this is probably approaching, the 500 foot elevation. And so with this guy, the way he ran in, look, there's another movement right here. Look at that. We're going to watch this one. I think that could be a plane that's the same plane coming towards us. But as this plane passed and as it's heading south, and the other plane, you did notice, again, we had flying objects. There's one right here, guys. Look at this. So we have an unidentified object coming here right now. You can see its light signature, and it just disappeared. There's a plane there. There's a plane there, and our object is gone. So once again, this guy looks like he might be turning around. So now I'm convinced this is definitely a military craft, or this is one heck of a joyride on a commercial airliner. Look at this, guys. Look at this one appearing right here. I can tell you by the pace of that, that is an unidentified object right now. You have a plane here blinking. You have a plane here blinking. Look at this, guys. This one is actually probably one of the brightest ones we've seen tonight. This is a Gulf. Look at our horizon line. This came from under the 500-foot deck elevation level. Look how it's rising up, and it's going to disappear. Look at that. Disappear. Gone. Another one appearing, guys. Look at that. Look at the lower elevation I was telling you as they're moving. Look at this. Okay. Look at our elevation. We're showing you live, unidentified, on camera right now, guys. No AI. Look at our plane here. Our plane, another plane coming in. You can see its trail. I can tell you that's a plane. This one has gone stationary. This is probably a military plane. I told you he would run his sorties, and because we've seen them. We've had it tracked. They're turning off their transponders. They're coming in here, and they're watching them. They're doing a visual watch on these guys and research on them. Last year, I actually saw a boat would come in here, and these things would appear over the boat and disappear. So they are showing themselves to us. And why are they doing that? Now watch this plane right here as he comes in. This one's heading out. Okay, you can see his blinking light. This is a guy that came all the way from down here. And this plane is now coming in. This is probably another military plane. Look how fast he's moving in and the dive that he's making into this area, okay? So again, this is our hot zone area. We have another plane. You can see his blinking light. He came all the way in from here. He did a turnaround, okay? So he did a sharp turn. He's coming back around. This plane, and you can see his blinking light coming back into our active hot zone where we are seeing live activity from these unidentified objects, guys. Okay, so very interesting. We said we would keep this running from 8:30 to 9:30. Sometimes I'll go over. I got Justin, what a great night, huh, Justin? Very, very awesome as far as the activity we've been seeing here. And I tell you what, we're going to do this for you guys every Wednesday, guys. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure and join us on TikTok. Make sure and join us on YouTube. When we did this last year for about 2 months, I'm an entrepreneur with a beach house here in Tampa. So now I got very busy. I couldn't commit to it. But now we have other projects coming online with this that we're going to expose this, guys, because this activity has been happening. There's no secret on this. You guys have been looking on social media and you've been seeing this activity all over the world escalating. We've seen it in Europe. We've seen it in different places in the United States. And there's no doubt. Look at this, guys. So we have a plane coming in now, and we have 2 objects moving about to cross. We have one here with a trail. We have one here, and we have a third one now that's coming up out the clouds. These 2 just disappeared, and that third one still has a trail on it, still moving. Okay. Right here, I'm going to say that's a plane that's coming in. You can see the plane that's taking a dive right here. Okay. This is a military plane, I would assume. We still have our military plane. Look at him way out here. He came in about 10 minutes ago. And look, we have another unidentified flying object that is appearing again with its trail as these 2 planes are in the area. So again, guys, they are moving with our planes. Okay, they're tracking our planes. So let's look at a few things when we look at this. When me and Justin, with his background in NASA and my background, when we look at this, we try to make determinations. We have theories about this. So okay, let's say, yeah, it is a UFO. You want to say that it's some identified flying object that's an alien, the green alien from another planet, great, okay. So why would they be flying around? There's another one that just appeared. Why would they be over here flying around our commercial airplanes, our planes? Why would they do that? Well, yeah, I don't know. I would think that a UFO coming from another planet probably would have something more important to do. As far as research, maybe getting into Brazil and the Amazon rainforest, checking things out there, but I don't see them out here playing with our planes as our planes are passing by. Now, so let's look at the other theories and say, okay, could it be our military, the United States military? And would they be sending these objects to appear around our planes and our commercial planes and having our military planes come out here? Well, most likely no. I mean, we have testing areas that, even places in Northwest Florida, we have huge ranges near Tyndall and Eglin Air Force Base where we can keep all this stuff hidden to where it's not seen. And we don't need to be putting them in front of commercial airliners and scaring the crap out of people. Our military doesn't really operate that way. Now, could we send these out there in their military drones or orbs that are lighting up and appearing, and our pilots are out here flying around them to test our modern day craft, these orbs against our pilots that are just regularly seasoned? It makes sense, maybe that's why David Fravor with the F-18 Hornets and Goresh they were sent out to rendezvous with these tic-tac objects coming out of the water, which could be our own tech, guys. You got to think about this. It could be us sending these things they're saying, okay, these are, tic tacs, and our F-18 Hornets and our pilots are going out there, have never seen these otherworldly craft, not knowing that maybe it could be some black project, Skunk Works, Lockheed Martin testing it against our military. Possibly. That makes sense, but does make sense they're doing it out way in the Atlantic Ocean, and they're not doing it here. So anyhow, could it be other military like China or Russia? God forbid, hope not. So, but if it is, why would they be playing with it and putting it near our commercial airliners out here over the ocean from a basically approximation of 5 to 20 miles out and dancing around our planes and commercial planes? What makes more sense is they would basically have the craft over our military installations if they were adversaries of ours. They would be looking at high-tech technology capabilities that we have, installations that we have in spying on us and using all that equipment there instead of right here as you're seeing. This one's flying right now, guys. So this one that you just saw, that was unidentified and it's gone. Now, if you look over here, we do have a plane coming in. I can see its track and you'll see it start to blink here shortly, okay? So we're going to watch that as it comes in. And as this plane approaches and it gets closer, we're going to see if there's any other activity. Because again, I've been watching this now, me and Justin, again, being online with me here, former NASA engineer. We've been watching this now for the last 18 months, myself heavily involved in it, taking videos every night because it comes off my beach house deck. And so I'm watching these things. And look at this. We have another one appearing on screen, moving right now. And you can see it as it disappears. This is nothing, guys. These things get so bright sometimes and they'll come off the water. There's 30, there's another one as I'm talking. Look how low this one is, guys, right here near the water line. Look how low it is. These are the ones that'll get so low that they will reflect off of the water. Okay, so look, there's two right here. One there and one there moving now. Look how low they are. Didn't I tell you? Again, I'm going to tell you things that you're going to see happen. You're going to wonder, how does the guy know this? Well, because we've been doing a research project on this for 18 months now. We have 900 videos on this. We have a live stream 4K camera, live stream this 24/7 that you can jump on YouTube and even watch people walking the beach during the day while you're at your office or whatever, just to get relaxation. And then tap in at night. So every night at around 8:30, I'm going to tell you, guys, even if we're not doing our podcast, just make sure you tell your friends about it. Tell other people about it because this has to be known. This is moving across the world and it's escalating. Since the time that I started in February of last year, it has escalated to a point to where there's 30 to 40 of these moving. They're tracking our planes. They are definitely doing things that conventional craft does not do. So we're trying to get answers on this. And as you guys come along, we'd love to get your opinions. We'll be more interactive with you, but this is our first one of the night, our test one. I'm sorry you guys had a lot of, looks like commentary of some pretty much nonsense on there. If you guys want to waste time, I would say take your chat somewhere else and probably a religious room somewhere. But what we're talking about is tech over the ocean and other things that could be conventional or unconventional, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of it. But that's going to be every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Guys, make sure you tap into us. Myself and Justin, my co-host, former NASA engineer, myself, 18 years over military bases across the world. So I've seen all types of high-tech craft, and we can kind of bring that into light of what we're seeing here in front of us as we're watching it live stream. So again, we're live streaming it for a reason, guys, because AI is the enemy out there. Not in every sense of the word, but it has been an enemy as far as us being able to capture legitimate objects and craft out there and really knowing what's real and what's not right now. So social media has become a joke in that aspect of people just posting all types of stuff. So it's so hard for us to find out what really is real out there. So again, we're going to watch this. And we're going to have it on for you on YouTube. So if you want to watch this 24/7 at any time, it could be 2 in the morning here and, at 2 in the afternoon at your place, and you just want to chill and look at it on screen and see what's moving, or look at this screen during the day. Look, there's another one moving here, guys. Look at that. So we have another bright one here. Nice to see that before we clock out here, ending our podcast. Look at this bright one coming right off here. Again, we've shown you so many planes tonight, guys, with the FAA identifier lights. We've shown them drop below our 1,000-foot elevation deck, and we have shown them with their blinking identifier lights, giving you kind of idea where our commercial airliner paths and cargo plane paths are and what is coming here that is not. And that one just disappeared. So clear night, our clouds moved out of the area. You can see it's not continuously moving. We're going to watch these things here. You guys are going to have a fun time watching it with us, trying to figure it out. So bring people to the channel. If you got any people that have some strong credentials and some really strong backgrounds in, basically military, unknown phenomenon, ufology. We'd love to hear it. Love to have you come on and see it and give us your ideas, your comments, and your perspectives on it. And just follow us, guys. Follow us. Look at the other things we're posting, because even though we may not be on here doing live stuff as far as our podcast, but you can still jump on live stream and see it. And you can see the posts that we're putting up on TikTok at UFOwebcam and on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. So Instagram, TikTok at UFOwebcam, and YouTube at UFOwebcam. And make sure and write it on your calendars, guys. 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday. Get ready. Because everything you've been watching on the live stream, and even after we clock out, you get on YouTube and watch this the rest of the night, go to bed to it, wake up to it, watching people walk on the beach, which is beautiful. That's awesome. But you'll get our commentary and telling you what this is a plane, guys, coming across, okay? Just so you know, not a UFO. That is a plane coming across the screen. So we've been lucky to get our live stream going. It looks like we've had a couple delays on it, but pretty much our first test, first time back after doing our podcast last year with our live streams. It seems like it was pretty successful. So very excited about that. Thanks to our co-host Justin for jumping on and basically giving us his background. Look, we have another one moving here, Justin. We have two of them actually. So the plane, look at this, guys. We had a plane just move by, and look, we have two unidentified objects. One just disappeared, the one lower to the ocean. This one is still moving right now. You can see it moving, and watch it as it disappears. Guys, this is nothing. I mean, what we've showed you tonight here in this last hour, we started at 8:30 this as well. Look at it, still moving actually. We've seen them to where and we actually saw one floating tonight, guys. There was one when a plane passed, we were able to pinpoint it and it lit up and then it sat there and it got bright. But look at as this plane heads off the screen, blinking with its FAI identifier lights, and you can see that object disappeared. We have another one moving right now. So great way to end the podcast and our live stream here for tonight, showing you guys these objects launching over the water as I'm circling another one right now, guys. Okay, and you can see, look at this plane. He made a turn actually. Look, there's another, look, we have two crossing right now. We have another unidentified object. Remember I was telling you in the beginning of the podcast at 8:30 how they were appearing up here, and that towards 10 o'clock, they would start peering low to the water. Okay, we use satellite tracker. We also use Flight Radar 24 and other instruments to track these things. So we have been watching these things. Trust me, they're not satellites. We know that Starlink has, more than just more than just their Starlink trains now, and they have various ones that go up. Look at this plane. He's done a turn, guys. Look at his lights. They're coming closer. So he's come out. He's actually going to be doing a turn over my house. That's crazy. And we have another plane you can see in the distance. He's diving. Why this object, this unidentified object that was there, just disappeared once again. So, all right, guys, we appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. Really do. Sorry for the comments on the chat. Some of you guys, that we're getting and talking about other things more than just as this plane hovers over me. Yeah, so I'm on the live stream watching this plane just come right over me right now. Interesting enough. So we're being fearless, guys. That's our brand, one of our brands, being fearless. So we're reporting this to you to show you, and being fearless about it. Again, because it's dangerous in several levels, but what we may be exposing. But again, it's happening over our oceans, and it's not like a hidden area. So I think it's wise that we do expose this to the world as we are, so you guys can make your own judgment as well and kind of seeing what's going on our Earth, these current events, guys. I tell you right now, with everything that's happening on our Earth, definitely time to pay attention to any type of galactic movements. I mean, look at this comet that everybody's been talking about, this A13 Atlas comet that's coming in, and all the hysteria that has caused, from Avi Loeb talking about it being a possible alien spacecraft to NASA having to calm everybody down. So, once again, these are things that you're only going to learn through education and not jump into conclusions. And so that's one thing we're here to do, show you something you may have never seen before, but at the same time, keep you from jumping to conclusions right away, because everything you see out there, guys, is not an alien and a little green man and UFO. Am I saying that they don't exist? No, I'm not saying that. Am I saying they do exist? I'm not saying that as well. But what I am going to say, and what me and Justin are going to show you, is theories, and we're going to show you facts. We're going to show you what our investigation has proven and shown in the theories that we have. Again, why would it be our military? Why would they be moving it close to our planes? Why would it be an adversary military, not over our most high-tech installations? So what does that leave? And that's what we're going to do when we research this. We want to basically eliminate the obvious, and we want to narrow it down to what is unknown. And isn't that really the question we're all trying to find out as humans, is trying to answer the unknown? So join us, guys, as one of our unknown objects. Look at this one. Look how close this is, guys. This is one of the lower ones now, and how bright that one got, and look how close it was to the ocean. So that's a great sign off for the night. We had a pretty active night tonight, and so we look forward to seeing you guys every Wednesday at 8:30. Again, make sure and join us every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be on YouTube. That's going to be on TikTok. And yeah, we look forward to having you guys there. So once again, thank you from UFO Webcam, guys, which doesn't mean aliens. It simply means unidentified flying objects. And join us as we